This is important, so I wrote down some notes about what I want to talk about. So if you see me looking down at it, I'm sorry, but I want to make sure everybody knows what I'm saying and I get all the information straight to you. I want to talk about what's going on in the country right now, and I'm going to start at the beginning. People were pretty frustrated with being locked at home. Some people were frustrated about not being able, wanting this country to reopen. Other people were mad at the people who want to reopen the country, and it became a giant pressure cooker. Lines were being divided in this country, and not necessarily political, left versus right. It was more divided among people who live in cities versus people who live in rural areas. And this pressure kept building and building with no release. Then a white cop killed a black man. I don't care about race. I don't care what color anybody is at all. The only reason I'm mentioning it is because it's relevant to the news story and what people are talking about. But I don't care what race anybody is at all. If a cop kills a man unjustly, he should go to jail just like any other person that kills somebody unjustly. All right. And I understand people being mad over it. When I hear about a cop murdering somebody or anybody else murdering somebody, it's upsetting. It shouldn't happen. I hate murder. But that doesn't give you an excuse to riot. Other people have been killed. People have been beaten nearly to death. People have lost their entire livelihoods. Housing has been destroyed. People have lost their jobs because their place of business no longer exists. So the rioting is hurting people too. Just look at the example of Martin Luther King Jr., Gandhi, Mandela, and of course Jesus. All of them had excuses and reasons to get their protesters together and riot and cause problems, but all of them, we can discuss Mandela later, at the end with Mandela, they all decided that peace was the best option. And those men changed the world greatly for the better. We need to follow in their examples. That Martin Luther King Jr. said, if you see somebody causing a problem, you need to get rid of them from our protest. Gandhi allowed himself to be beaten and go to jail and never fought back. Jesus, when he knew he was going to be beaten and executed for crimes he did not commit, when he was being arrested, one of his followers cut off the ear of one of the men arresting him. What did Jesus do? He said, hey, we're not going to do the violence thing, and used his last miracle that he performed to heal the man arresting him. Those are examples we should probably be following. Now, I want to talk about the violence itself. All right, there's a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes. I've been doing a lot of looking and stuff in the past few days at all the weird things and things that don't make any sense and wouldn't normally be connected and don't make sense with a normal riot. Like the LA riots or the Ferguson riots, those things. There's things going on with these riots that don't match the pattern. The first one is a white man dressed in all black, black hoodie, black mask, black backpack, was carrying an umbrella. They call him the Umbrella Man. Was seen busting out windows. As soon as there was a camera, he hightailed it out of there. Another weird thing is one of the sites where there's been a lot of rioting going on, somebody dropped off skids of bricks. Who brings a skid of bricks. There's no construction going on in the area. They just drop off a skid of bricks for protesters to use. Well, where do you get a skid of bricks? The average person can't just get one, move it, and unload it onto the sidewalk. It takes some planning and organization to get that done. There's all kinds of other weird things going on like that don't make sense. What it looks like is happening is the Antifa is involved. Antifa, it stands for anti-fascist, but they're not really anti-fascist. They're actually globalist socialist, and sometime I'll do a whole video on them. But what their stated goal is to cause chaos in the United States and cause people to get so upset at the chaos that they want to fight. They want to remake the United States to look like the Soviet Union. So what they want is a war in the United States in order to do that. They're trying to trigger what's called the Bubba effect. And I'll do a whole video about the Bubba effect later too. Sorry, I'm trying to keep this video short. But if it starts a war, there won't be a clear dividing line like during the Civil War where you had North versus South. This will be neighbor versus neighbor, one town versus another town, people that live outside the city versus the cities. It'll be a complete disaster. It'll be worse, probably be worse than the Civil War. And, let me check my notes here. Sorry about that. President Trump, it says he wants to use the Insurgent Act. I hope he doesn't. That'll make things worse. I hope he just lets things burn out on their own. People can't respond to this violence with more violence. Martin Luther King Jr. said that violence begets more violence. And he also said that violence multiplies violence. So, don't respond with violence with other violence. Alright, so what should we be doing? Well, we should be praying for peace. We should be learning more about what's going on and helping to educate other people. That's what I'm trying to do here. And we should be ready, if we have to be able to evacuate an area. And we should be ready to help our neighbors if they're in need. You should be ready to do those things anyway. You should be ready to evacuate in case there's a tornado or something. Train spill, chemicals. You should be able to help your neighbor because that is what Jesus said. That's the best, or the first command, or the most important commandment. But the most important thing we can do right now is pray. I don't think this is going to spill over into the nasty horribleness that it could be. I think it's going to just burn itself out. And something I forgot to mention earlier is the police, they're ill-prepared to handle this stuff. So they are mostly inadvertently causing more problems and making things worse, which is what Antifa's planning on. So I'm hoping this will just burn itself out and we won't have a problem. But I just want everybody to know what's going on and be ready and be prepared as they can and be as informed as possible. Thank you for watching and God bless you.